I'm good. How you doing?
Instagram wasn't trying to let us be great.
Instagram was playing today. I was like, but I was determined. I really wanted to do the interview. So thank everybody for. I know they had some little shady ones in there. I seen them, but
listen, we're gonna keep it respectful because, like, first I just want to just say this in general. Like, you inspire me so much. Like, I'm telling you, and it's you and Tom Joyner. Like, it's been that for you. Yes. So I haven't interviewed Tom Joyner yet. So you're the first person on the checklist, all right? So it's you and Tom Joyner.
That really is, like, I really take that seriously, and that's why I hate getting on camera. But I'm like, no, I'll do it for you. Like, I take that seriously. So thank you.
Yeah. I appreciate it. So first and foremost, let's get just into the start of the Shade Room. So tell us just about the inception of how the Shade Room was created.
You know what? The Shade Room was created at a time where I was unemployed and all my friends were in grad school, and I just remember feeling like a loser, you know what I mean? And I didn't have a job, but I was working on this script that I knew wasn't going to make a lot of money, you know what I mean? Because scripts take years to make. So I had to figure something out. And I remember I was calling on my friends and I was like, yeah, this is what happened in the media. Like, this is what happened to Chris Brown. This is what happened to so-and-so. Like, this is what's going on. And they would be so entertained. But at the same time, they're like, girl, I'm in law school. I'm reading books right now. Like, do something with your life, And plus, I was headed, like, I didn't have any money, coming in. So one of my friends suggested that I start a site. She was like, why don't you start a site so you can do this professionally, right? And she was just joking. And I took it seriously. And I was like, you know what? You're right. I sit up here and read these sites. Why don't I create my own site? And they say I'm good at it, so why don't I try it? For me, it was trying something. I had tried a business before that, and it failed in 6 months. You know what I mean? So I was just trying another business. I didn't know how it was going to do. But I had something in me was like, this is going to be great, because that's how I attacked anything I did. So because I thought everything I did would be great, I tried this and I came at it with that energy. And I started it, and the rest was history from there. Yeah.
Like, literally history, because like you shape just the fabric of every conversation. I think that's the part for me that, really just makes me go crazy about the Shade Room is that you literally, like, everybody, for example, I work at iHeart. I think I told you that when we talked privately, literally iHeart wouldn't be iHeart without the Shade Room because they got the headlines on the Shade Room. Angela, you talk about the headlines on the Shade Room. So I think just the way that the Shade Room shifts the culture is the thing that's the most endearing to me. But I gotta talk to you about this because I have my business consultant in here, Jalen McKee, J McKee & Co. And one thing we talked about was building the team. And in the interview you did with Complex Hustle, which I've listened to like 50 million times, just want to let you know that, you talked about the aspect of having, your team now. So how did you build your team?
You know what? I think that when you are a small business that's starting from, the ground up, you have to really be mindful of who you choose, who you make your first player, right? And so a lot of times people are not trying to kind of assess a business and say, okay, well, what position can I hire that can bring in more revenue? Because right now we're going to need that to keep the doors open, to keep running. So I would say for me, when I thought about hiring, I was like, well, who are the people who can help expand the company in a way where it could bring in more revenue so that we can continue to fund ourselves and keep going, right? So, because most businesses that fail within the first 6 months, they fail because they're not making any money, right? So you want to bring in somebody that can make money. So the first person that I brought in was a man named Brian Young at the time, and he came in to help me monetize the Shade Room. Right. So from there, I hired, I don't remember, it was either Deborah or Jay Kelly, one of them first, you know what I mean? But I ended up hiring them because I first hired someone who was in sales who can make me more money. And then that would pay for me to be able to help fund I had interns at the time. You can't do that no more. So be mindful of that, unless you give them like school credit or something. But it can help you fund whoever you're hiring next, right? So the next person I hired was a content person. I knew that the better my content was, the more followers I had, the bigger the audience, the more money I could charge for ads. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you have to be strategic about who you hire, and that helped me continue to build one step up, one block up. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
And so wasn't the first person you hired, didn't he go to Morehouse?
He did go to Morehouse. He used to work at what was it, Sony? He was an intern at Sony, and I remember he came to me through the DMs just out of nowhere. And he was like, "Yo, I could help you. I could help your business." And he came on, and he was good for what he was good for the period of time that he was there. And he did. I will always credit him for that. He helped the business make money to be able to hire people. So.
Now, see, here's one thing we know, Angie. Listen, HBCU students know how to make money now. We know how to make some money now. Okay, that's one thing. And then Morehouse, like you can see, he has to make money to pay money to Morehouse. That's a lot of tuition. I'm telling you,
yeah. Because I was charging $75 an ad when I first started to learn how to make money off the Shade Room. And they paid my rent for the month, which was $950. Okay, and I needed that rent bad. You know what I mean? So, but when he came on, he had more strategy to it, and he was able to triple, quadruple that. See, that's what a team does for you. You hire good people on your team, your business is gonna explode. You know what I mean? So
that's 100%. And so I want to ask you about this because I think that this is an important topic because I know this is what I'm navigating through. So, like the business of mental health throughout your business, because you have the power to literally shape the culture. And I feel as if I heard in the Complex Hustle interview, because that's the interview that I really listened to just really what I was going to ask is, you talked about that level of just mental health and that's feeling like, hey, I'm not really made it yet. I'm still in that process of the journey. So how's your mental health been during the rise of the Shade Room?
Woo! First of all, I'm going to keep it all the way 100. The beginning years of the Shade Room were some of the most successful high points and some of the lowest dark points I've ever experienced in my life. So first of all, where do you want me to start? You want me to start from the personal, from social, family? You want me to go to business, snakes in the grass? What you want me to do?
Let's start with snakes in the grass. Let's start with that. What's going on with the snakes in the grass?
Okay, so here's the situation, right? Let me just start from the beginning, right? So the Shade Room, very quickly it began to rise and it began to experience a lot of success, right? But, a lot of people think that and personally for me, I didn't believe people when they said money didn't make you happy. Because when I was broke, the only things that were making me unhappy at that time was my brokenness. Okay. It was my situation of where it was the money that it was everything, the bills stacking up, all that. Right. So in my mind, I'm thinking money is definitely gonna make me happy because that's the only thing making me unhappy. What you mean? When the Shade Room began to grow, let me tell you, money does not make you happy at all. It makes you comfortable. It does not make you happy. And it does not solve any problems. In fact, it amplifies whatever problems you have. You get what I'm saying? So if you're a person who deals with depression, money is not going to take away the depression. In fact, it may add more depression because of how much you have to deal with now that you got it and now that you're building a business, right? So, you have to learn how to hire people. You have to get burned because everybody will. You have to learn how to fire people, which is going to be heartbreaking in the beginning when you come up with people that you really love. You know what I mean? You have a lot of responsibility on your shoulders. I just wanted to get a side hustle. And then I stepped into having one of the biggest platforms, on the internet. So it's like, the responsibility you didn't sign up for necessarily, but now you have to evolve and become that person. I was 23 when I started the Shade Room. So I was a baby, you know what I'm saying? And so I had to become a boss, all of this, on the spot. It was like I was building a plane in the air. So in the beginning, we got deleted. I thought my life was over. I thought it was the end. I mean, there's been about 5 times I thought it was over for me. Like, you know what I mean? Building the shade room. But the mental health, this is the problem. Business goes up and down like this. That's just the nature of business. You will never, I mean, the shade room, every year we grow significantly, but there's ups and downs. I told you we were deleted twice. You know what I mean? Like, there were times when I thought it was over. And the mental health suffers if you allow yourself to go on that ride with business. If you allow yourself to ride that up and down ride, you're going to be an up and down person every day. You're happy until you get a low month of sales. You're happy until, you know, I don't know, you don't grow any new customers. You're happy until somebody tells you your business is BS and you're a horrible entrepreneur. You get what I'm saying? You have to kind of disconnect yourself from the outcome of your business, but also put that work in and that hard work and see the vision for it too.
I don't know how to do that. Like, I think that's the hardest part for me, because like for me, and it's so interesting you said that you were 23 when you started it. Like, when I started Pulse, I was a junior at Fort Valley. And you know, the big thing was that everything I did was Pulse. Everything that I even do now is Pulse. So like, when things happen with members of my team or even just in general, I take that personally. But I've been told by a lot of people around me is that you can't do that. So like, how do you separate the business from the person?
Well, if you're a kind-hearted person, or if you're a person that loves people, and me, I'm loyal to the bone to people if I love you. You know what I mean? If I cut you off, it's like, I had to, you know what I mean? But I'm loyal to the bone to people that I love. So you take it personally sometimes because you connect your identity to the business. So them leaving, you're like, oh, that must mean that they don't believe in this vision enough. Or, oh, you know, am I going to be successful without this person? You get what I'm saying? Those were the thoughts I began to think. Can I be successful without this person? Those are feelings of insecurity because you've attached yourself to your business. You get what I'm saying? But no business has the same people. And if you do have the same people, your business is not growing. You get what I'm saying? This actually is a necessary, important part of business, to let people go at certain points and to bring people in at certain points. Different seasons for different people. And that's the same thing with business. You know what I mean? You probably ain't got all your same friends from preschool. You ain't got all your same friends from kindergarten. And if you do, there's something real wrong about that. You know what I mean? Like, you may have one or two, but if all of them, still ain't right. We know what happens with, you know what I mean? So for me, I feel like you have to detach yourself and then think of yourself in your position. What if you were working for a company and you had big dreams?
Yeah. Right.
You can't be selfish, because I used to be selfish. I used to be like, nah, you know, I want your dreams to be my dreams. No. These people have dreams. And if their dream takes them over there, wish them well, but you got to have the confidence to know that you got what it takes. This is your vision, your calling, your anointing, your blessing, your creativity, your hard work. You got what it takes to take it to the end. And there's people who would love to work for you. You know what I'm saying? So you just have to keep that mindset moving forward with business. Yeah.
Listen, you speaking to me right now. I'm telling like, and the promotion I was going to do leading up into the interview, we were doing the promotion, was Jordan and Kobe. Like, I'm Kobe, you Jordan, I swear. That's what's really going on. Like, I'm really sorry, because I need this, honestly. Like, because like, you know, just the aspect of, you know, even just doing the business and then still working, you know, and then like thinking like, dang, like I'm working, but I got featured on the Shade Room. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then now what we featured, I gotta flex. We were the first video on that Zeta post. I was like, whoa, like, so we're doing something right here. But then I clock in, you know, and it's like with the journey, like, you know, like mentally is like, dang, like, am I really doing the right thing? But I think that, you know, what you're saying is that you have to separate the business from the person and realize that the business might be growing, but as the person needs money. This person got to pay student loans back. So that's another. This Joe Biden ain't canceled that yet. But speaking of President Joe Biden, you've had him on the Shade Room. You had President Barack Obama on the Shade Room, Vice President Kamala Harris, Howard Grad. And, you know, the thing that really is just so crazy to me is just the impact, the cultural impact of the Shade Room. I cannot say that enough. So first, I want to just break that down. So how does that feel? Because you like literally, I want to break it down again, is that when I turn on the radio, I work at iHeart. I listen to The Breakfast Club. I listen to Ricky Smiley. They're saying on the Shade Room, they said, on the Shade Room, it said, like, you're now a source. Like when I was at Fort Valley State University, my HBCU, there were students that were using my source is the Shade Room. And it was a discussion. The discussion is the Shade Room a source? And we argue, yes, it is. If it's verified, it's a source because that's new age journalism. So now we're discussing the Shade Room in college classes. So first, with the mindset of just that influence, like how does that feel?
It doesn't feel real. It doesn't feel real, but it does feel scary. I'm gonna be real with you. It feels scary because it's like, you know, it's like, wow, if we can influence on this level, it makes you, you know, daily I think about how am I influencing? You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Because it's like we have the influential power, but I want to make sure that, you know, obviously I'm constantly weighing in my mind, well, what is the impact of this all, right? And obviously some people you can't see the full impact unless you're really seeing it from my end and then the public's end, right? But we you know, so that's why everything we do, like this year we're rolling out a big program called the TSR Dime program, where we're going to be, you know, investing in a lot of businesses and Black businesses and just doing a lot of great things in the community. But I would say if you know what it feels like, this is going to sound bad because it feels really good. It feels really good, but then it also feels like you're driving a big truck, a Mack truck with a whole bunch of cargo, like, and you're driving it and you blindfolded and you got your hand on the wheel and you just like, ooh, I hope I don't crash. That's what it feels like. I'm gonna be honest with you. That's what it feels like.
That's a great analogy. And so listen, I got to show off real quick. So I got my board over here and I've been waiting on this interview all February. So I had my co-host of a Pulse Radio, Shelby, do a drop and hopefully you're able to hear it because this sort of segues into the question that I want to ask next. So this is the drop we made.
My name is Angie Nwandu. You're listening to Pulse Radio featuring the Shade Room's Angie Nwandu.
They didn't come to get the news. They came to talk about the news.
For the culture exclusive.
So you said in that Complex Hustle interview, they didn't come to get news. They came to talk about the news. And I was trying to find, okay, so I want to make this show professional. I got to step. It's Angie Nwandu. I got to step. So I'm like, so what do I use in this drop? And I'm listening to the Complex Hustle interview. You said that, and I'm like, that's so deep because in that Complex Hustle interview, you also talked about the aspect of like those first couple posts and how people were going to comment. They were searching for you. Like with someone, Chris Brown, you had your roommates that's searching for the information when you don't have to do it. So you're not really curating the news in that sense. You do curate news, but the big thing is the overall discussion.
Yeah.
So I thought that was interesting because we talk about the aspect of traditional media, how traditional media often has silenced Black voices and also has not allowed the whole story to be told often. And social media has been a villain in that sense and also a hero. So what do you think your place is at the Shade Room? What do you think your place is in the media and overall conversation in America?
You know what? So my place is to give the black culture and Black people a platform, right? To have a more complete representation. So, you know, so at the end of the day, we report the positive, the negative, everything concerning Black culture, right? We report on it and we believe in conversation and we believe that conversation moves people forward. Let me give you an example. There was a Birkin bag conversation happening on the Shade Room, right? So we were a news source. People got the news from us, but at the same time, the reason why they like getting news from us is because of the comments. They want to converse about these things, right? So there's this Birkin, we're reporting on the Birkin bag, and over time, there's this, people don't even notice it, but there's this big conversation happening, and you see people discussing whether we should be putting importance on Birkin bags. Yeah. So you got rappers talking about, man, y'all trying to make Birkin rich and da-da-da-da-da. Why don't you put on Black designers? You know, da-da-da-da-da. Why y'all hyping it? Well, you ain't got you. Why are you asking the regular man to get you a Birkin? Da-da-da-da-da. Why don't you invest in land? People don't know that this is conversation. Right. We were done with that topic. Once we squeezed that topic out, right, like a lemon, everybody in the culture together kind of came to a consensus that we was tired of Birkin And we need to put that money back into Black designers.
Right.
From there, we were able to post Brandon Blackwood, a Black designer, with the end systemic racism bags. Okay, first of all, you can't even get a bag from him now. Go on his site. He sold out. I tried to get an end systemic racism bag. But all of this is coming as a result of a simple ongoing conversation that happened on the Shade Room. You get what I'm saying? And so I feel like people don't necessarily understand what's going on. We had the silhouette challenge, and then people going back and forth. We talk about certain issues, and people talk about that, and through conversation, we learn different perspectives. You get what I'm saying? Like it's a lot going on. So conversation is everything.
I love it. And so I gotta go to this too, because this is something that within the growth, because I have no idea, like y'all like magicians. Like y'all posted posts in the Shade Room. Everybody started talking to us like, hey, y'all do advertising? Like y'all want to work with us? Like TBS reached out. I'm like, oh man.
Wow.
And like we have the TBS HBCU Cash Out campaign that's going on. And by the way, I need to tap into that. And it's like even just all these other different smaller businesses and people, are really galvanizing around us now. And I wonder, like, what's that next step? Like, what's that point where like we start getting these deals? And in the Complex Hustle interview, you talked about how you turned down a Boss Up style talk show for the Shade Room because it wasn't different. And in my mind, I'm like, that's a perfect lane. A Black team, because people say the Shade Room is a Black team. I was telling my mom, like I was saying, I'm about to interview Angie Nwandu, the founder of the Shade Room. She's like, what's the Shade Room? And then I was like, what's a Black TMZ in a way? You know what I'm saying? Like not like just sort of to explain it. And it's I feel like how just the personality and the conversations that could come on the screen is I even would see it being like a Dish Nation type of show. We have Ricky Smiley and those radio personalities, they're on TV talking about celebrity news. I'm like, the Shade Room would eat that up, but you said you turned it down. So like, what was that problem to turn it down?
Well, you know what? Because I had a meeting with somebody and see, this is what I'm saying too, who you keep around you. You always want to keep people who like, let's say there's certain things you want in life. Let's say you want to be a movie a screenwriter, right? You want to keep people who have done that before around you to learn from, right? So I sat down with Summer from BuzzFeed. She, at the time, I was brand new. She was like, let's have let's have lunch. She was like, I just want to talk to you and give you game. I sat down with her and she was like, listen, she said, I know you probably getting all kind of TV deals, because that's what's going to happen. Once you start to grow and get a good audience, you don't even got to be at 1 million. You could be at like 500,000 or 400,000. People are going to reach out to you. They're going to want to do shows. They're going to want to do all this type of stuff, right? So what she told me was, hey, you are going to get that opportunity, but just remember one thing. If you focus on building the business that you have, you will always get that opportunity. If they'll offer you a show now, you build your business. In 2 years, they're gonna offer you a network. What you mean? You know what I mean? So that's what she told me, and I remembered that, and I said, "You're right. As long as I focus on building this business, I'm not only gonna have this same opportunity, but I can have it on a bigger scale." But for me, it was important to do it right. The Shade Room can't be a TMZ style show like that. You know what I mean? To me, I feel like that's already been done. And it's an older format for when TMZ first came out, and they're still successful, but they've been doing it for so many years. Right. I think I have a vision of what I feel like the Shade Room show should look like. The studios are scared. They're like, that's too crazy. That's too crazy. I'm like, that's what it gotta be. I'm too passionate about the Shade Room. I'm not about to just give the show up and make it be whack. Oh no, it has to be perfect. It gotta be exactly the vision, So that's so I am waiting on that. But in the meantime, we doing so many shows. This year we're coming out with 5 shows. You know what I mean? So it's like, You know what I mean? We may get a network instead of a TV show, you know, so you just never know. But I feel like you have to focus in business. The most important thing is focus. Right. You got an audience. What do they like about you? Keep giving them what they like about you over and over and over again, like Craigslist. You don't see Craigslist making their website purple and pink. They don't care about all that. They're like, our audience comes to us to search things. We're just going to make searching very simple, keep it plain, let them know. You know what I mean? Like that, you know what I'm saying? Give them what they want on a consistent basis, and that's how you win for sure.
Wow, like that. Hey, that is a great. Hold on, wait. I got a good claim after that. That's a great. That was a dope answer. Because listen, like at this point in my life, I would have took that money. Let's do it. Y'all want to do it? But like, I feel as if like what you have is a level of patience and a trusting of the process that I think a lot of folks don't have, because it takes
to have patience.
It's trust the vision to do that. You have to trust the vision.
There is a saying that says speed is only beneficial if you head it in the right direction, and that's what I live by. You know what I mean? Patience. So.
Listen, I know you were a preacher. I know you did that too. Golly, like what?
People be saying that, but it's so odd because I do the shade room. But no, yeah, I from experience. I'm telling you, I learned the hard way a lot of lessons.
I feel that. So, what is your advice to college students that want to voice the same journey as you? And I want to preface it by saying this: like, we look at influencer culture, right? And all of these college students consider themselves influencers. I consider myself an influencer in a certain way. But you as an influencer is different because you're not just influenced in the way of having products or selling tummy tuck teas or doing Forex. Like, that's not your real influence. You're selling media, and you built a platform for people to communicate. And I think that's what I want, especially when a lot of these Black women in HBCUs with these large followings, these HBCU queens, to really gather from you. So what is your advice to those young women that want to voice that same journey that you did?
My advice, number one, is to there's too many ideas that just get blown in the wind. I hear too many people saying, oh, this is my idea, and then it's a good idea and they just let it die slowly because they stop talking about it. Somebody said, oh, that ain't gonna work. Oh, somebody said, oh, somebody else did that, whatever, but that idea ends up just dying. And I feel like that is where that's the biggest mistake. And it's not something that you can avoid unless you are aware of it. You get what I'm saying? And so I would say that if you have an idea that you feel like is a good idea, throw what you got at it. Throw what you got at it, and don't be afraid to fail. Like I said, my first business failed in 6 months. I was trying to do fashion, and unfortunately, I don't know how to dress. Straight up, I don't know how to dress. I don't care. I'm like Penny Proud. My closet is like a cartoon closet. Okay, all my stuff is black. I wear black. That's it. You know what I mean?
Not Penny Proud.
So why was I even trying to go into fashion? You know who I was trying to emulate? That girl Heather Sanders. She had Sorella Boutique, and I was like, oh, she making money. Let me do it too. I was not cut out for fashion. I did not love it. It was horrible. So my business failed. But if I had taken that and said, okay, this business failed, I'm not good at business. First of all, let me tell you, I shouldn't even be in business, because when I was in college, I tried to sign up for a business fraternity, and they dropped me during the pledging process. And they were like, first of all, and what they said when they dropped me was, they said, you are not cut out for business.
Wow.
That's what they told me. So I had to overcome 2 points that from my experience that showed me, if I had listened to my experience, I would have come to the conclusion that I'm not good for business.
Wow.
But because I continue to go at it and keep going at it, you got to be persistent. I said, I'm gonna get up after that, start another business and try again. And it hit. You have to have patience. You gotta do it. Do it. If you're not doing it, don't even, you know what I mean? I know people who said, I want to start a podcast. Do it. You can start a podcast from your phone. You could literally do a podcast on your cell phone.
Yeah.
Use Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and there you go. Boom. You got distribution.
Right.
There's no reason to not go after your dreams. So I would say that's the number one thing. The second thing is to get education, but don't let education stop you. Right?
Right.
So when I say get education, I mean, some people want to prepare properly for a business. My preparation for the Shade Room was opening the IG account and just started blogging. You get what I'm saying? Don't stop yourself because you're a perfectionist trying to prepare because you want to release yourself of the failure. No, because what you give to the business is what it will give to you.
Right.
You got to put your all into this thing. You know what I mean? When I started the Shade Room, I was 24/7. It was Shade Room. I was going so hard. You know what I mean? I still do to this day. 24/7 is Shade Room. You know, I mean, obviously I take my breaks and stuff and I do better now. But when I spend a lot of time on the shade room. You know what I'm saying? And you have to, it's like a baby. If you look at your business like a baby, right? Your business is a baby. Think about how much time you spend on that baby and how that baby will grow up.
Right.
That is how you should look at business, right? And then the third thing I would say is to not go into business for money. Please don't. The people who go into business only for money will never get money. How about that?
Oh, wow.
Now, I've seen it time and time again.
Major key.
You have to go into business for people. What do the people want?
Right.
Go solve a solution, solve a problem, figure out an area where people need something that they're not getting, and figure out why you're the best person to do it, and then get into that business.
You dropped so many gems. This is crazy. This is crazy. You dropped so many gems. And I just want to really quickly before we go, first I just want to say thank you for this. Cause you're really, you know, pouring into me right now. You know, really? That's something that I really want. And I definitely want to connect with you more. Like I said, behind the scenes, I want to connect with you more because I know I need that guidance and that mentor. And I feel like you're the perfect person because I feel like a lot of the things I went through, you're going through. And really quick, I want to ask this because I gotta do this one. This is I've been thinking about this moment since we put up on the shade room. So let's talk about HBCU Pulse being on the shade room. So my social media manager, Croy, right? So I was at home, I was working from home, and I was on a call. So I go into the living room. My phone is buzzing. I'm like, why my phone buzzing? And then in all caps, the shade room just DM'd us. I'm like, man, stop playing. It's probably fake. What the world? Now look. Wait, the shade room, can we use your video? I'm like, yeah, for sure. Like, what's up? What the world? So then I'm like, I don't want to just be on the shade room and fizzle out. So I was like, okay, here's what I'm gonna do. I said, I'm gonna write this article. I ain't gonna tell nobody. We're gonna pop out with it. And then I'm gonna write this article. I'm gonna do these videos, all these different things. And I'm like, let's make it happen. So then we were already doing the J16 show with Charisma, who was the dancer featured. And I called, I was like, hey, Charisma, did you get a DM too? I thought y'all had DM'd her too. I'm like, man, this probably not gonna be special. She was like, nah, what DM? And I showed it to her. It was like a little thing, you gotta swipe and see it. And she was like, what the world, the shade room? And I'm like, I told her at her probate, like, I'm gonna make you go viral. Like, I didn't know it would be like this. I'm like, I'm gonna make you go viral. So I was like, we're gonna turn this into something because I think oftentimes what happens is that folks go viral and they fizzle away. I'm like, I can't fizzle away. I've been working too hard for this. So I'm like, I'm gonna structure a whole mini campaign around this. Now I didn't think I'd get this far, okay? Because I was like, I'm not gonna post this on Facebook. Like nobody won't care on Facebook. I'm posting on Instagram. But some was like, Randall, post this on Facebook. You always posting on Facebook. So I posted on Facebook, and somehow, some way, I don't know if it was God, I don't know if it was a mistake, but you saw it. Okay, I was like, what?
Oh, it was God. It was God because I don't be on Facebook like that. Whoa. I don't be on Facebook like that. And then you see, the thing about it is that one thing I'm seeing from your story about getting posted is that you have a lot of instinct, right? So you like, I was like, ain't nobody gonna, like, we don't pay attention to how important that is, right? But you like, nobody's gonna see it on Facebook, but you had a hunch to do it. You know what I'm saying? That's one thing that is invaluable in business, is having that hunch. You know what I mean? Knowing like, speaking it into existence, which is what you did when you said, I'm gonna make y'all go viral. You really gotta pay attention, because I promise, like, everybody knows that when you speak stuff over your life and you believe it, you're gonna be shocked in a year, 2 years when you look back and you're like, oh my God, everything I spoke came to pass.
Yeah.
Both bad and good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just for people watching, like, your story shows what makes a good entrepreneur. One is persistence, instinct. Never deny your instincts. You know what I mean? And just, work. You went in. You know what I mean? So
I didn't expect to get. And then what you said to me on Facebook, that really, you don't know how much that meant to me. I literally paused, like, because I was asleep and I woke up and I saw it on Sunday and I'm like, yo, that's crazy. Like Angie Nwandu, who I've looked up to like for years from the jump, like really just said, I'm a star, keep grinding. Cause like honestly, sometimes I feel like giving up. You know what I'm saying? So it's like the fact that you said that really motivated me. And I'm like, clearly I'm doing something right. So I just really appreciate you just for the platform that you've built. Like, we're not worried about all the negativity. We're not worried about all the, oh, it's shady, oh, XYZ. We're not worried about that because you built a platform where I can grow, I can shine. And you built a platform that for a whole bunch of college students, especially HBCU students, they thrive upon your content. So I appreciate you. I just appreciate you for this. And I don't want this just to be an interview.
It's not. We definitely keep in touch and have conversations. And I would love to have conversations because, like you said, we're going to be going through a lot of the same things. You know what I mean? So,
yes. So overall, I appreciate you. So one last thing, you're doing a lot. Like I feel like you about to just take over Hollywood for real. So just tell us, if you can, just everything you have going on just outside of just the Shade Room.
So I'm a screenwriter. So I was a screenwriter before the Shade Room. So right now I am working on a film with Issa Rae Lala Anthony with Universal Pictures. So it's my first time. Well, I mean, my first movie was Night Comes On. It was before I started the Shade Room. And you know who was in that movie? Dominique Fishback, who's in the Judas and the Black Messiah. She was in Power Project with Jamie Foxx on Netflix. Yeah, she started off in my film Night Comes On. She was the lead in that film. But so I have a movie with Universal that's coming out, in the future. We have 5 shows, 3 shows with Facebook, and then we have 2 shows, one with Oxygen, another one with WeTV, a crime show, court show. You know what I mean? So we have a lot going on, and more shows are coming that we're pitching right now, and that's kind of what's going on outside of the Shade Room. But yeah.
Golly, you see now you come for Tyler Perry, okay? Like, golly, have a studio.
It's funny you talk about Tyler Perry because a lot of Black people will be like, "Oh, Tyler Perry, his work." We got to give Tyler Perry his flowers because he's one of the biggest. I don't know. I think he has the biggest studio. The biggest. A Black man. You know what I mean? Like that. I mean, we can't keep discounting our stuff. We can't do it. You know what I mean? Like, he is valid because he's creating Black content and putting Black actors and actresses on, you know what I mean? Giving them jobs, employing them, creating a studio that gives multiple cameramen and producers and all these people jobs. You know what I mean? So like, he's doing a wonderful job. Yes.
Right. So listen, so I you giving me so much, and I know you're busy. So I appreciate someone say I appreciate you. I definitely want to connect more. And shout out to your assistant, Lorianne. She's the I love her. Like, we friends. That's my friend. Telling you.
I love Lorianne. Like, listen, people used to think I was the devil wears Prada because I could not keep me an assistant to save my life. Oh my God. But then I met Lori. She's dope. She's so dope. Love her.
She is. But thank you so much once again. And yeah, I just can't wait to connect more. I just can't wait. And thank you just so much for this.
Okay, thank you for having me. I'm sorry that it wasn't the, page or whatever, but I was just like, I'm so shy. I hate getting on the Shade Room. I love being in like the background. You know what I mean? So
when I tell you, I told Lori, I said, listen, she can request my Finsta page. I don't care. I just want it don't matter. Like we can have burner phones like we on power. It don't matter. I get
But you know what? We do got to work together. I think it's a lot of opportunities where we can work together, so we can get more posts on the Shade Room. But I feel like I love what you're doing. Keep grinding. There's something really special about you. So you're going to do something amazing. And I can't wait to see it. But trust me, you will do something amazing. So.
Wow. Thank you so much for that. And wow. I can't be speechless doing this interview. Now I can't be speechless. Oh, yeah. But thank you so much. I appreciate you. And I definitely can't wait to connect more.
All right. Perfect. Bye.
Talk to you later.